Udemy. Okay, I think we've heard of this recording in progress. Okay, so this is Temitope Oyedemi, and I'm a QA engineer, a full stack actually, a full stack QA engineer. What that simply means is I'm into almost everything technical quality engineering. I have almost 10 years experience in software development, quality engineering, DevOps engineering, and mobile development. So it's interesting to have all of you guys here on this platform today. So yeah, you're welcome. Now, I will go straight to what we have today, and that's introduction to mobile automation. Before I go further in this, so yeah, I think I have a setup which I wrote on a Medium. I gave it to your facilitator, that's Udemy, to give it as a prerequisite to this class. It's a prerequisite to this class. So if you have not seen it, I think I will share it. It should be on Medium. I will share it with the class now. This is a prerequisite for this class. Talks about the installation, basic installation, and every other thing you need for your setup. So, but also we'll go through them one after the other in class now. Okay. Yeah. So that is what we have for basic installation. But I will go straight to my PowerPoint to share basically everything about mobile automation. So yeah, automation is not new to a lot of training this year. You are already familiar with the word automation, but what of mobile automation? The difference is the fact that you are making use of what? A mobile device, a mobile simulator, all right, and you are testing what a mobile application, Android, iOS, hybrid, and so on. So what you will learn in this class, what is mobile automation, what mobile automation is, why APM is a top tool, how to set up your environment, how to write your first test. And what is mobile automation? Like I said, mobile automation is the way in which or the process in which you automate your mobile applications to make it what fast, reliable, and repeatable. And of course, it is the opposite of manual, which is what human-driven and time-consuming. And the benefits, which we all know, reduces regression efforts, enables CI/CD, and covers more test scenarios. That is the basic benefit of automation. So we know that there are certain things that you need to have on ground before you start saying you want to automate. And one of it is what? Your CI/CD. Another thing is your test cases. Another thing is the readiness of your what? Of your application. Okay. And not that your application test cases are not regressible. That is the essence of what automation generally. So why APM? Why are we working of a number of other applications, right? We say APM is open source and widely adopted. It is cross-platform. That is, you can make use of it for Android applications, for iOS application. And then it is language agnostic. That is, you can code with different languages in Java, in Python, in JavaScript, and so on. And it works with native, hybrid, and mobile web applications, right? So because of this, we adopt Appium. Alternatives to Appium include Espresso, which only deals with the Android and native only. But as for the Appium, it deals with the three, that is the Android, the native, and the what? And the hybrid. Okay. So when you're talking about the hybrid, we are talking about the way compiled, right? So from okay, so some Android applications, the way they are compiled, you can actually make use of them as mobile web application, or you can make use of them as ones, and some are native and all of that. Please read about it. Um, Talking about alternatives to Appium, we also have the HES-Q test, which deals with what iOS and native only. So, but what makes Appium stand out generally is because you can always have a single framework which you can reuse, all right? Single framework for Android and iOS, and you can write once and run everywhere. So, for this class now, we are focusing on the Android, yeah, and the Windows application. Don't worry, this is a Mac laptop. That doesn't mean anything. We're only focusing on what the Android. We are not doing anything related to iOS. And we are not building framework in this class. We are not building framework. We don't have that time. Okay, so you write once and you run everywhere. Now, what is the Appium architecture? How does this basically work? Right? This is how it works. We have a client, we have the Appium server, and we have the drivers. So if you look at this diagram, you see we have your test script, which is basically written on your IDE. That is your integrated development environment, which is like your IntelliJ. So you have your test script somewhere, then you have your Appium client. Now, this your Appium client is talking about maybe your Appium inspector, and your Appium server is also somewhere, right? And your Appium server is actually supposed to be the basis, because if the Appium server is not started, there is no way it can work alongside with the Appium client and with the test script. So you have the Appium server, you have your device, in which case it can be a simulator and it can also be a normal physical device, right? And then you have your application which you want to test. Your application usually is always within the device, and then and then we have the test script, right? So you must have been hearing about drivers. When you work with Selenium and some other automation tools, you must have been hearing drivers. When it comes to Appium 2, we have drivers. And we have the UI Automator 2 and the SQI test. Now, the Appium Automator the UI Automator 2 is used for Android. SQI test is used for what? For the iOS. So in this class, we'll be focusing on what UI Automator 2. Okay, now your environment setup. Just like the prerequisite link I sent to you, you must have seen it. You need a Java, yeah, a Java development kit, version 11 above. You can also have 8 and above, whichever. Try as much as possible that you don't have lesser than 8, version 8. And then install that and set that up as your Java home. So you need to install Java, and set up your Java home. You need to download the Android Studio with the SDK tools. You need to have your Node.js installed with the Node Package Manager. You need to have your Appium desktop and the inspector installed. Actually, we won't be using the desktop in this class because we are using Appium version 2. So you will just install it directly from your command line. I will show you how to do that. We also have the emulator on your physical device. So we'll carry out our first test both on emulator and the physical device. Okay, so for your setup now, I said it, you have your Java home and your Android home. This is basic, right? I expect everyone to be able to know how to set up their Java home. Perhaps you have your Java home already. Um, I'm not sure if you have your Android device, your Android home yet. Okay, so you set up your Android home also. Now, ADB devices is the command you run in your command line to verify to see how many devices is right? How many devices is currently running, right? So you can say APM device to check, or APM device dash L to list all the devices and the component of the devices that you have. Okay, APM inspector demo. Talking about APM inspector, the APM inspector is a separate, I think it used to come with the APM itself before now, but so far it comes with let me turn off my camera. I think I'm having some distractions here. Okay. So the APM inspector is now separated right from the APM, and it's usually used for to assist you in visually inspecting your your the elements in your on your applications, just the same way you inspect elements in your web applications, where you go to your dev tools and then you pick up your element selectors, CSS, ID, SPAT, and all of that. Sorry, guys, give me 2 minutes. So just like you do all of that, you do the same.
Please, can we not turn off our cameras, please?
All right, so let's continue. So we have the tools that you use to write your first test. We have the Java, it's a prerequisite. We have the TestNG that will help in managing your test, and then we have the APM itself. So we install some of these as dependencies in your POM. In case you don't know what POM is, we explain that one later. And then we also have the steps you take in setting up your project. You set up the Maven project, add the APM dependencies, and you write a script that launches the app. Okay, and this is where our what's the name of it now? This is where our class stops this morning. So now let's look into the setup your Java. Now I said this is a prerequisite, right? So if you have installed your Java, you can always check your Java version. I'm trying to take it as slow as possible so we can understand this. So when you do your Java version, you get your Java version. This simply shows that your Java is what is installed, right? And then when you want to set up your Appium home, I think I have it
Sorry,
already.
I can't see the code you write to set up the Java. Can you
The
just
what?
drop it? The code you
The
just
code
put now to set up.
Java dash version.
Okay.
Java dash version. That's what you use to check your Java version. And then for the Java home and Android home, right? That's a setting of what environment variables. So I have something here. I'm not sure if okay, yeah, there is a link here which you can use to set up your Java home. So there is a step-by-step method in which you can use. So you go to your system variable. For the Windows, we have the environment variables. If you type environment variables right from your Windows command, right, you're going to see it's going to pop out. Yeah. It's going to pop out the environment variable, and then you can edit it just like what you're seeing here. So you create a variable name called Java home, and then you put the what's the name now? You put the URL to where your Java has been installed. the Java JDK to where it has been installed, right? This is what we call what setting up your environment variables. The same thing goes for your Android Home. Same thing goes for your Android Home. If you come here, okay, so you go to your environment variables, you create Android Home, and then you put the directory in which your Android has been installed. Usually you just say /SDK. There's /SDK, there's /platform to try to make sure you have those two links there in your path. On your path. So I'm not going to delve much into this because they are basics of what of setting up environment paths. Okay. Let's go back to our setup again. So we said downloading of Node.js. Actually, you need Node. If you have Node already installed, you can just check the Node version. Okay, so you see download Node.js. So you can download Node.js and install it directly. Okay, let me see. I'm not sure if this is the command. Okay, yeah, this is the command. Node version. We have 22.10.0. So it shows that we have Node already installed here. And let's see again. We said you need your Node. We need your Android Home, your Java Home, and then your Appium. Your Appium. Now, I said there are two versions of Appium, right? The version 1 and the version 2. For those who are always visual, you might want to download the Appium desktop. But I think the Appium desktop most of the time make use of version 1. So I try to avoid the Appium desktop, just go straight and do what? And install from the command line. If you install directly from the command line, you're going to get Appium version 2, right? So you say npm I global Appium, that is, you are trying to install Appium globally. So if you use this command here, you're going to be able to what? Install Appium. And when you want to start, you want to be sure that Appium is installed, the simple command is what? Appium. This Appium that you type here, right? Let's see again. You see, welcome to Appium version 2.12.1. That is the version currently installed. The auto-detected Appium home path, it's giving me where it is installed. Is attempting to load driver SQI test, attempting to load driver. So I have the two drivers installed. The SQI test for my For my iOS, and the UI Automator 2 for my Android. Okay, so requiring driver at index.js, yes, requiring driver at this. SQI test driver has been successfully loaded. Android UI Automator driver has been successfully loaded. Appium REST HTTP interface started on. So it's telling me now that I have my server started at this particular port and URL. Okay, so connected to server only accessible from the same host. Available drivers, this, and this. Okay, great. Now, for sometimes when you install your Appium like this, it might not actually install your drivers for you. So you might need to install your drivers separately. Let's see. So you can come here and say, maybe install, because this is something I noticed over time. Install UI Automator 2 or SQI test, whichever one. Okay. So for this, you can actually use the keyword Appium driver install, because now you have Appium installed. Now your command can recognize the Appium command. it means that you can now copy this and do what? And then install it separately. So when you install it like that, it means that you have a driver, because drivers are important in executing your test. If this driver is not available there, um, your test might be failing badly. Okay, so we have that. Look at it here. This is under, I think it's part of Appium documentation here. Let's go back to our setup. Still on setup. We have the workspace tool. The workspace tool talk about the Android Studio itself. The Android Studio itself will help you have a glimpse into the structure of your application, and it will also help you manage your devices, because the Android Studio come with what? Device manager. I think I have my Android Studio here. On your Android Studio, you have something called Device Manager, right? It will help you in managing your devices. To help you in managing your devices. Oh, sorry. Another 2 minutes. Okay, now let's continue. So I said this will help you have a glimpse into the kind of application that you're working with. It's going to help you in managing your devices. Now, both virtual device and physical device. When you're talking about the virtual device, you're talking about the what? The emulators. And then we are talking about the physical device. We are talking about your actual device, the one on your hand, right? You can actually connect them, and this will help you to manage them. Also, you have access to what terminals and all of that, so you can easily just type things here, view attached devices, and a lot of other commands. So that's the essence of having the Android Studio environment. Now, there is another one called the SDK Manager. Okay, like I said the other time, when downloading your Android Studio, you make sure you have the platform tools, right? Now, let's see the platform tools. For Windows, so you can download here directly, right? And of course, for every other OS, you also know. So once you download like that and you install, you also have a path for it. You can then add that to your path, right? You add that to your path, your environment path. Okay, so that is that for the SDK platform tools. There is the SDK tools, there is the platform tools. Okay. Uh Emulator. There's also the emulator. There's also the emulator. This is the one that will help you to be able to have different virtual devices, different names of devices, different operating system on those devices, that is Android versions. All right. This will help you to be able to make use of different kind of devices, different versions of Android for them, and then be able to run your applications on them, to execute your applications on them. All right. So, I think this page is just telling you how to create, but I will show you how to create, so don't worry. We are still on setup. So going back to setup, we have install Appium Inspector. Now, I said the Appium Inspector, just like your DevTools in web. Say, download Appium Inspector. Okay, so your Appium Inspector, you can get that from the GitHub Appium here. And you can download different versions. There is the Appium Inspector of DMG. I think this is from macOS, Linux. And then, okay, show all. Where is it? Okay. Linux. Okay, I can see the, what's the name now? I can see the Windows here. I can see the Windows here. I don't know why I can see it here. Because we usually just download it directly from here. Let me see. Download APM Inspector for Windows. Okay. Let's see if I will find it here. APM Inspector. No, I can't go through this. Let me see. What link was added here? APM Inspector releases. Yeah, I know we usually download it from the GitHub releases. So I'm just trying to see if there is anyone for Windows, because there should be. There is the source zip. So maybe from the source zip. Show all 26. Aha. Okay, so I think it's here now. There is the window executable here, and there is the ones with the different Windows x64, okay, Windows ARM, and so on. Depending on the operating system of the Windows that you use, you can actually download them straight off here. Once you download them like that, you install it and then you launch it. It's very easy. Just download, install, and launch. Okay, so that is Appium Inspector. It helps you to inspect your web elements visually, your mobile elements visually. Okay, so we also have the Appium Doctor. Just from the word doctor, this will help you to what? To do the diagnosis of your system requirements. This will check if all your requirement is complete, right? So now that we are talking about setting up your system and requirements, one thing that will help you to be sure if all the requirements you have installed is correct is when you run Appium Doctor. So if you want to install, since you have your node installed already, you can actually use npm install what at Appium Doctor -G. You are installing the Appium Doctor globally. Okay, so and when you want to use it, when you want to run it, what do? You just do, where is it? Appium-Doctor, that's what it should be. I think. Appium Doctor. Yeah, this is the usage. Appium-Doctor. The -H is for other options. So you can basically just use Appium-Doctor. Let me close this. I am not trying to start the server yet. I think that was just a demonstration. Okay, so I will say Appium-Doctor. So the Appium-Doctor, the Appium-Doctor Look at it here. Where did it start? Appium Doctor. Diagnostic for necessary dependencies. That's what it does. So if you check all these dependencies, the Node.js we have mentioned. Oh, we didn't mention Xcode because we are not dealing with iOS. We are dealing with Android. But of course, you are going to need Xcode for your iOS application. It is out of scope for this training. So you also need, of course, Carthage is also for iOS. Dev2 security is enabled, of course. And then we have home is set to this. Android home is set to your Android home. Can you see? This is the location of my SDK for my Android home. This is the location for my Java home, right? This is for the Android home, right? And then you check the ADB. The ADB is for managing your devices. It's a command for managing your virtual and your emulator devices. So we have the ADB is in the platform tools. We have the Android is in the tools Android. The emulator is in the emulator SDK. And the APK analyzer is in what? It is also so. All of these basically are in the Android SDK and in the platform tools. So two things for Android, the normal Android SDK and the Android platform tools, because without you can't access ADB without the Android platform tools, right? So no, I'm not typing ADB. Okay, so we have ADB, we have the bin folder from JDK, of course. And that is all. I think the first set of checks shows that we have all our requirement for Appium complete. If it is not installed, I think it's going to give a red cross sign. A red cross sign to show that it is not installed, and that will take you back to what? To go and install them. So in case you are not sure if you are doing the right thing or something, you execute what your Appium Doctor. This will help you to know what is left for your requirement, because the requirement setup is usually rigorous for a lot of people just starting Appium. So, and that is why I have something comprehensive here. Now, I think we are now done with setup as far as I think, as I know. Yeah. Okay. So, let's look at it. Okay. So, if you are done with setup now, the next thing we are to do is to do what? You start your Appium server. So how do you start the Appium server? I showed us the other time. You just type what? Appium. So when you start Appium like that, it's going to tell us on what port the URL is on your client where this server is connected to. So on my client here, which is like your own side of the application, is what we call the client. So we have this, but you have to type in status to check if this is running exactly as it should. So we have value ready true message. The server is ready to accept new connections. This shows that the server has truly been started and it is available on this port and address, which means that I have to connect my client to what? To this port in order for my drivers to be able to execute my tests. Okay. All right, so I have my server here. It has started. The next thing is going to be what? My Android Studio. Let's try to connect our devices now. Now, what is the use of all of this? Now, the first thing is, apart from your Android Studio, you need your development environment where you are going to write your test. Remember, you're not writing your test on the Android Studio. What you are using your Android Studio for, make your work easy. What you are using it for right now is to do what? Is to manage your device, right? So let me close this and launch it like someone who is just launching the application afresh. So I have my Android Studio. So in my Android Studio, yeah, I think because I have some projects here already. So you can just go straight and say new project. Then from new project, right? So from new project, you choose phone and tablet and you click next. So I can call this ANST class. Okay. All of this does not concern us really, but okay, now this is good. It is loading. Now you can access your device manager from here. And I think you can view the mode to undock or something. Wait, let's see. View mode, dock on pin window. Yeah, you can make it float like this so that you have a better view of the devices. Now you have your device manager. I have all of these that I've created before, but if you are creating a new one, you will see this button, create device. So you click on this create device, and with this you can create your the emulator you want. Okay, so you have different kind of phones, the pixels, the resolution, right? So if you look through this now, you see the different phones. Okay, and let's just pick this one. It's 5 inches. Resolution is 180, and sometimes depending on the size on your computer system, your memory and all of that, you have to pick devices that you can sustain, right? Because of storage. Boyinde is asking a question. You can go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Does it mean that is when I'm picking that one? Does it mean about the font size or something like that? Just
Yes, when you're talking about the inches, it is the normal inches on your phone, how big your phone is. And then the resolution talks about the image resolution, how your application is going to display in terms of images and all. Resolution. The same principle that goes with resolution. So um let's go to previous. Yeah. So we have the size, which is the actual normal size of your device, and the resolution talks about the way each pixel or the or images in on your device is being displayed, right? That is what this resolution is. So that is for phone. I think there is also the part for the operating system. So select a system image. So you can select the Android version. There's R, there's Q, there's Pi, right? And there is all of this too. So most of the time, you see the target. We have Android API 34, Android 12, Android 11, 10, 9, and so on. So may I just most of the time stick to the most common ones, right? I think 11 is more common. So I can just stick to say 11 here, and then we have next. So you can give it a name. Whatever name, either you use the name that comes with this virtual device, or you give it a separate name that you can recognize. I usually just leave it at the same name. All right. So this is the device I just created now. It is API 30, Pixel 2 API 30. Okay. So, I mean, you can rename it just like the way this one, I put it as my Pixel and there are other phones too that has their own name. This one is Galaxy Nexus API 33. This one is just Pixel 2 API 30. So this kind of device that you create falls under virtual device. And as for physical device, there is a way you connect this. Right now, this is connected. Let me disconnect it and just show us how you connect this. Let's disconnect it first. Because it is showing green means that it is connected. Let's see. Okay, it's now disconnected. Now, if you want to connect this, I'll put on my camera now just to show us. Okay. I think my camera is on now. Now I don't know. This phone is always used for testing. So I have a Samsung phone here for testing. And I directly connect it to what? A USB cord. So if you have a USB port on your system, you connect it directly to that port, okay? So connect it, and if you are connecting it through something like this, you also connect it. The most important thing is that you connect what? A USB cord from your phone to your what? Computer system. Okay. Now the next thing you will do is you go to your phone setting. You go to your phone setting. I think it is called setting on most phones.
I'm sorry. I don't know if we're supposed to be seeing anything on the screen because it's just blank.
It's blank. Okay.
Yes.
Let's reshare. Um share. Share. Can you see me at all?
Yes, you can.
Can see me out of this phone.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So your phone is connected to the USB cord connected to what? Your computer system. And then you go to your phone setting under developer options. Yeah. For those who have not done much about developer, I think you have to click on your build number severally to enable the developer options setting. Let's see, build number. Do I have it here? Okay, I guess I will not see it here. Oh, you will see it in about phones. If you go to about phones under software information or so, under software information, if you are doing this for the first time, go to about phones. Under software information, you will find build number. You can click the build number severally if you have not used it before. On your screen, if you have done this before, it will say no need, developer mode is already enabled. So clicking it severally is to enable the developer mode. Okay, now that we have enabled the developer mode by clicking on the build number, the next thing is to go to developer options once again. If you go to developer options, and then you enable USB debugging, this button has to be enabled, and then you will see a pop-up saying USB debugging is intended for development. Then you say okay. All right. Now, you clicking on OK is going to reflect on your devices. You can see that this is showing green now, showing that it is connected. Here you can see view details, pair device. Now, actually, you can also pair device if you want to go ahead with pairing device. There's a way you pair device. I think one is through code, another one through Wi-Fi, but it's not necessary for this class. Once it is connected, it is connected. Now, after this is connected, you have to be sure that it is connected. I like using two terminals, separate terminals. I have one terminal running my server already. I don't want to create another one to avoid confusion. So I will go straight to my Android Studio, right? Let me minimize this because I have this already open. I'll go straight to my Android Studio and click on the inbuilt terminal there. Yeah, this is the inbuilt terminal here. From the inbuilt terminal here, I can do ADB devices. ADB, that is ADB devices or ADB devices dash L devices. So this will list the devices that is connected to what? To my that's currently connected to my device manager. Okay. Currently, I have two of them. The first one, and you see their names. These names are what we call the UID. That is the identity of the device. The first device is my it's my real device. And the second one is what? Is an emulator. See, it says emulator dash 554 device. Okay, Boyide, you can go on again. I think Boyide has a question.
Yes, please, concerning this code, connecting your phone to the system using code.
Yes.
I actually tried that long time ago. So when I connect it, it will actually show me on the screen on my Android Studio to show me the files in my this thing, but it's not actually displaying the screen. Like it's supposed to be displaying the full screen, but it's only displaying files. I don't know what I did wrong, or maybe I made a mistake somewhere. So I don't know if you can actually pick me to on that.
Okay, so you did USB. You connected through your USB, and then
Ye-
when you
yes,
typed ADB devices, you discover it's not yet attached.
yes. No. It's like when I remove the code, it will not show on my screen on my system.
Of
That's
course,
the
you
this
sh you should not remove the cord. You
But
should
when
not,
I put the
except you are connecting by Wi-Fi. If you are connecting by USB, your USB has to be permanently connected. So
yes,
far,
it's permanent. Yes, it's permanently connected. But when I connect, it was only showing me like a files, like the files in my phones, but it's not actually displaying the screen. Only files in my phone. I don't know if you get that.
okay, I get you. But
Mm.
when you type ADB devices, do you see it attached?
Yes, yes.
We will get to that part of your files. And
Okay.
when you clicked on, let me see, the only thing you clicked on from developer options is enable USB debugging, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, that's fine. So let's continue. We'll talk about your files later on. So this is to check that your devices are connected. Now that your devices are connected and you are sure it is connected, you want to determine which applications to execute on these devices. I think for the sake of this class, I have this demo application. Is it in this project or let me check. Apps, is it? Yes. I'm not sure. Inside downloads. I think I have a number of them. I'm not sure where. Appium. Yes, I have a number of demo applications that we can use. Now, you have to check for the location of this APK that you need. Okay, check that it is available. So far it is available, you won't have any problem. You have an APK somewhere on your system, and then you can easily locate them later on when you start writing your code. Stop. That I'm not using it because of this version issue. When Appium was upgraded, they moved on to the command line. They didn't do much with the Appium desktop. And that is why when you're using Appium desktop, it's like you're using the old version of Appium. And so we are not using this in starting our server. Instead, we just start our server directly from where? From the command line. And this will ensure that we have the latest version. Okay. So that's just the explanation for that one. Then we also have this Appium inspector. I think I've launched it. So visually, this is how your Appium inspector look like. You have the remote host. You get your remote host from the server. That means your server has to be running before you launch your inspector, right? So we have it here. Only accessible from the same host, as you can see. So we have this host. There is two of them that you can use alternatively, but the same port number. It has to be the same port. Okay, so we have 127.0.0.1 and then the port number 4723. Okay, so if you come here now, no, not that place. Okay, yeah, we already launched it to show that this is running. But let's go back to the Appium inspector. So we have the 127.0.0.1 and then the port, right? So this is exactly what you need. And then for the capability, there's nothing here. For the capability, talking about capability, we are talking about the requirements for your application to be launched, right? We talk about the type of device you want to use. I have a few capabilities that is already saved here. Let's check. I think some for Android, some for... Okay, this is an emulator now, for example. So we say there are different, what's the name? There are different data objects for this capability. We have the device name as the first data object. There is the automation name. There is the platform name. There is the platform version, the UID. I've mentioned the UID the other time. When you do your EB devices, you will see it. It will come with the name. And then the app, that is where it is located. I was showing you the other time. Have your application ready somewhere, okay? So we have the device name called what? Android emulator. I think this is the standard if you are using emulator. And if you are using, let me see if you have actual device. If you have actual device, what could... Okay, yeah, this is one actual device. If you have actual device, it's going to be the device name. Okay. Now you know you can check your device name, right? From your phone. Let's see. I'm not sure. Is this where I checked my device name before? La, la, la. I know you can also check it from the device manager here. Let's see the device manager. Device manager. Okay, I minimized it earlier. Okay, yeah, this is it here. That's the device name here. And let me see if it is something we can check on mobile on the phone too. If you go to about phone, yes, about phone, is it let me see, there is the model number. There's a model number and there's the serial number. I'm not sure that gives the right. Okay. Model number. Okay. But anyway, if you want to confirm really well let's see, maybe we can use ADB-L. Okay. Yes. If you use ADB-L, it is going to give you more details. Now look at this. This is what the model number for this device, R5 something something something. Device connected through USB port with the port ID, and then the product and the model. The model is SM_A0212, which is the Samsung what's the name? Which is the phone, the Samsung device name, right? Yeah, and so that is how you add your device name here. And then we have the automation here. I mentioned this earlier. We are using UI Automator 2. Yes, because this is the available driver for Android, right? And then we also have the platform name for Android, which is Android platform version, which is 11, the UDID, which is what? The build number, which you also saw here. The build number, you saw it already here. R58RC something something 2Z. So 2Z, yes, you have it there. And then now you want to launch this application from nowhere. You have it somewhere in on your computer system. You can just map the location of this application, put it directly here, and then start a session. Okay, now that is how you start a session from an Appium inspector. Here you want to be sure that your setup is not only fine, but it can actually launch an application on your connected device using all of these capabilities. Now, another advantage of going through the Appium inspector is after you launch, the fact that you can access a lot of things. Let's see. So we can start the session now. Let's see. This is the remote host. This is 4723, and there is nothing here. So let's see if we can start the session. This is on Samsung. Is our Samsung still connected? If it is not connected, you might have a problem there. Okay. If you run this, it is connected. Wait. So we'll go back here and run it exactly. Fail to create a session. Okay. Let me edit this. Okay, I will check this later. I will save it like this. Could not be created, must be of type string. Oh, platform version must be of type string. Let's see what is happening to this. Okay, save. Okay, so it must be exactly as what is put down in the desired capability document. We will check the desired capability document, so just you are not confused. You see my phone? This is what I have opened already. And that is what is being displayed on the screen. A session has been created with Appium Inspector. Of course, my server is also running. And then I have successfully done what? I have successfully connected that session to my client here. And I have this displayed. Now, what happens if the app I added there is actually supposed to be there? Let's see that app. I think I removed that app earlier. Right? There's supposed to be an app here, if I recall. And it's supposed to have the location of, I think I opened it earlier. Let's see this one. Okay, this is inside. This is inside document Appium appdebug.apk. App debug.apk. Let's see. I'm not sure if this carries appium.app. Okay, that it is appium.app. So let's see. Is this not what I just edited? Okay, it has automatically fixed appium.app to its end. Okay. Um, I don't know if it is capability I just said, cap3 I just edited. But anyway, let me do it again. So this is not going to run if I don't put it in a string. I'm sure of that. Maybe because of the new update that has been made to capabilities documentation. Okay. Failed to create a session. Oh, what happened? Who put this one here? Maybe it's not the same one. It's like I'm using another one, but let's just do it again. 4723. And always check that remote host. It's unblocking.
So I want to leave that remote part empty or just slash.
It's slash because if you check where it is currently running, it's slash. Look at it here. There is no ad hoc method to it. It is slash. We just put status to show to check if it's actually running or not. But it's actually it's slash. If you come here, you will see it directly. It is just slash. I guess it was the old version that was using slash wd slash up. But this version 2 does not use that. So it's just slash. So we actually have no root found for wd slash up. No root found for and so on. So yeah, there's no root for it. If you are trying to put in slash wd slash, depending on the version, this version 2 does not have it. Yes, so it's just slash. I think it should run now. Okay. Oh God, sorry about the noise. Okay, so I have this thing launching. Hopefully it launched the app I want it to launch. Yes, it's launching the app now. It's opened it, and then that's all. To open the app, and this is what you see when you open the app normally. So this app is I think it helps to create some kind of to-dos or something. I'm not sure. It's an old app usually for testing. This phone is even for testing normally. So it has a lot of all these incomplete applications for testing. Okay. So we have this. Now, if you have your APM inspector, what you do is you see this here, show element undo. If you enable it, it's going to do what? Show these handles for you. There is an handle here that you can inspect. There is one here, an icon that you can inspect. There is another one here that you can inspect, and so on. Right? It shows you the different handles that you can inspect. Let's take it back. Now, this one shows select element, just like in your DevTools where you click on something like this, yeah. And then when you click on it, it helps you to highlight your element. This does the same thing, right? I click on it and then I highlight it. And then what happens? It brings out this inspection. It brings out this element. So we call it app source. All right. In DevTools, we have the source, we have the console, the elements, the network, application, and a lot of other things. But here we have what? The app source. For mobile web elements, you can proceed to inspect too, because I think you can actually inspect. Inspect element. If you inspect elements, you will see the same way you inspect with your DevTools. This is an handle, and then you click on the handle. You click on the handle, and then you click here, then it will. Why is this boy screaming for God's sake? Okay, yeah, exactly. So this will give you a proper view. com.example.android.tracker. Yes, it's a tracker app. ID coordinator. Of course, it is here too. But this just gives you a proper view and all of that in case you are not getting the element well. But that is that about that. Another thing is if you go to command, you can say you can set timeout. Let's see. Web navigation, go to URL. There are a lot of things you can do here. Someone is raising their hand. Can
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. Philip, please, can you turn off your camera, please? Thank you.
Okay, so there's command, there's command, there's actions. Like you know how actions is in automation. Action is saying click on this, send keys on this, get the text on this, and all of that. You can create those actions here and save them. And every time you execute this, you can also perform those actions directly. So our session information. Now the session information is where I'm going to with this APM inspector. This session information will help you to start writing your code. So we have, I think my phone has gone off, so maybe there's time out or something. Okay, so this one shows you the platform name, which we just, did, the device name, the automation name, right? And then in different languages, you can actually extract the startup code for your test. It's Java, of course, because it is Java JDK we have installed and all of that. So we are working with Java. And then here you see setup. Setup desired capabilities equals to desired capabilities equals to new desired capabilities. Now, talking about desired capabilities, let's come back here again. We will launch this again. There is something we need to go check with desired capabilities documentation. I think it will be better to go through. There is a GitHub. I don't know if it is this one. It's the tracker app I was using, but it's not this tracker. Okay, yeah. This is desired capabilities, I think, with Automator 2 driver. Okay, you're talking about desired capability. Now, there is the capability name and there is the value. Just like the way you write your JSON, the key value, right? What are the things you're expecting if you define your platform name? It could be set to Android. Appium itself is not strict about capability value if automation name is provided. So you have to understand these rules. There are rules towards the capabilities. There's the automation name, which always is set to UI automation 2. All right. And I also said it that you can set it to SQI test if you are dealing with the iOS. And then we also have the device name UID, the platform version. What did we use for our platform version? Okay, yeah. I think that's talking about the Android. That is, this one, Android version. This is platform name, right? So Android version 11, 12, and so on. And then we have the UID. You can use ADB devices -L, which we have used one of it. Now, if on set, then the driver will try to use the first connected device. So sometimes your driver can decide to pick, if you have multiple devices connected and you have not set this ADB devices list, it will pick the very first device that it finds on the list, and then it's going to execute your test on that device. So if you are running a test, I will advise just connect the only one device you want your application to execute on. Just connect it and leave others, remove others. Okay, so there is also the driver server, the system port, and a lot of other things. But I think for the sake of this class, the major thing you need is this one here, the general one, and then perhaps the one for the app. We have the app talking about the app package. It could be browser name too. I mean, there is also something called browser name where you just launch the browser, and then there is the directory where you have the app package, right? There is the browser name, there is the app package, app activity, and so on, right? So you can check more here from GitHub Appium. If you're on GitHub, you can go straight to Appium and you will find every information you want from Appium on GitHub. Okay. So yeah, this is all this is device capability. So when you are talking about device capability now in Appium Inspector, I guess it makes it easy to understand. Let me see. My app is not yet open. Oh no, it will launch it itself. I think. Yeah, it will launch it itself. So let's see. So we'll go back to that starter code where you write your device capability. Okay, so here we have the app being launched, and I was talking about your session information. Okay, good. So in your session information, we have a code that helps you to do what? To start your session. Talking about desire capability now, in Java, you know when you are writing this line, it means you are instantiating a what? An object, right? You are instantiating an object that is available maybe from the import or from the library. I think from here it is from the Selenium remote library. So you have the desire capability, because to know what desire capability, there's no magic to it. And now you are making use of the what? Desire capability object. From desire capability object, you get all these methods. Set capability of what? Of the device name, of the automation name, of the platform name, of the platform version, of the UID, and of the app, right? So this is everything you need. And I think this ones just tell us the pages, if you want screenshots, timeouts, and so on. Yep, so that is it. Now, yeah, from here we go straight to setting up on IntelliJ. That is your development environment, guys. Let me close it here. Okay, good. So I will minimize this. Don't forget your server is still up. Now let's go straight to IntelliJ. The other time on IntelliJ, have we created a new project here? No, I think it was on Android Studio we created a new project. Okay, so let's create a new project. So when you are creating a new project, you go to new project, okay, new project, and then you give it a title. You can call this one ENST training. Hmm. Okay. So Java, Maven, JDK. What JDK should I use? Use this one. Create new window. Good.